Dave Aronberg is here. He's a state attorney in Florida. So let me start with you, Dave. This is a Florida case where you guys are busy with cases there. It's always very interesting what's happening down there. Let me get your take. I want to talk about sentencing at some point, but first let me get your take on how this defendant did on the stand, and we know the jury bought it. What was your thinking?
I guess she did pretty well because the jury bought it. I mean, remember, she was yawning her way through some of the testimony, some of the horrible details from the medical examiner, and yet he came across convincing enough that the jury believed that she was a victim of domestic violence and that she wasn't checking her dating app or dating site when her husband bled to death, and she waited 11 hours, but she tried to give him CPR. So I guess she thought he was dead and long gone, but yet she still thought enough to give him CPR. So a lot of her testimony to me, I mean, the whole case made no sense, but, you know, I'm not on the jury, and the jury obviously believed her. They clearly did not like the victim, and the victim was not there to defend himself because he's dead. But they didn't like the fact that the victim married his stepdaughter. They didn't like the fact that there was possible evidence of domestic violence, and it didn't matter that the defendant's daughter testified that she, the mother, was usually the aggressor. So in the end, the jury clearly disliked the victim. They liked the defendant, and I think they also liked her defense lawyer a lot.
Different set of facts came out through this trial than had been assumed prior. That was that she never called 911 until that morning. But we know from the tech experts that she misdialed 911 two times at 10:52 the night of the incident. I'm not sure they made enough out of that to kind of minimize her, not caring, if that's the tact they were taking. So, Dave, as she's telling the stories to the first responders and the others, the ones about a heart attack, and then he stabbed himself, I guess the jury had to attribute all of that to some sort of, abuse mindset, that she just was willing to say anything she could because she was so traumatized by the event. I don't know how that played out, but they had to explain it somehow.
I mean, it just shows you that she was lying. I mean, yeah, I guess they probably said, well, she was in the heat of the moment and she wasn't thinking right. But no, first she made the calculated decision to say that, oh, he had a heart attack. And then it was, no, he stabbed himself, or vice versa. I don't know which one came first. I mean, she told her daughter something differently. And then finally, it's self-defense. Now, mind you, after she killed him, after 11 hours, and he bled to death, she then cleaned up the scene. She had bleach, and she was trying to cover it up. She deleted all the text messages. I mean, you would think she would want to keep the evidence because it's self-defense, but she sure didn't act like she was a victim of self-defense in that case and at that time. And that's why, as a prosecutor, I was surprised by this verdict. I thought the evidence was circumstantial. At the very least, should have warranted a manslaughter conviction. I was surprised to see her get away with just about all of it.